Hey guys, this is 97 Lego Maniac with another custom minifigure showcase video, and today we have three figures from Doctor Strange. And I did not put the camera upside down because I've done it once, I'm not going to do it again. And so yeah, so I have the Asian one, I have Wang, and more. And these three figures are all finally done, and they are the last Doctor Strange figures I'm gonna make. So yeah, these three figures are all painted by me, and they're fully custom, with the exception for a few Lego parts, which I'll get to later. So yeah, just to say this again, like always, these minifigures are not for sale, and I will never make another replica of them to sell them or do commissions or anything like that. Because these minifigures are just made for myself, just for like sort of like a collection, and just to share to you guys and show you my my work of art. If you guys are inspired to do so and willing to take some of the ideas what I implement on these figures, feel free to do so. I'm not stopping you. And these minifigures are based off of my own interpretation. Like, number 3, I do not take suggestions because I only want to make figures that I want to make myself. That's all, and we can just move on to this showcase. Our first figure we have is the Ancient One, and Tilda Swinton did a very good job playing the Ancient One. She turns out to be my favorite character in Doctor Strange. And yes, when she was casted, there were a lot of controversies, like they're whitewashing and stuff. I wasn't one of those people because, frankly, I don't really care. But there is, I did some little research because I did think it was kind of strange. I mean, yes, sure, I do prefer to see her in a different ethnicity, mostly Tibetan. Is that the right word? Tibetan male or female. I would love to see that. But then I realized something. I came across this article. If you guys don't know the reason why Marvel cast Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One, long story short, Marvel doesn't want to piss off the Chinese government by casting someone Asian or resembling China or to play a Tibetan character. Because if they do that, the Chinese government will think Marvel is going political on them, and they won't. And because of that, China won't show Doctor Strange in their theaters, because China does have a strict rule with movies. And you know what? I think what Marvel did, they could have. I could have think they could have went a little bit brave and just go with it. Just cast someone from Tibetan, and yeah. So technically, technically the Ancient One is Asian, but not Asian as in Chinese, Japanese, or Korean people. Okay, and if you really think casting a Chinese actor to play a Tibetan would be a good thing, you're wrong. It really isn't. It's actually not that good for the industry or the business. So in the business side of things, I think Marvel did make a good choice. And besides, the Tilda Swinton did a great job as the Ancient One, and she turns out to be my favorite character. Now, to go over the figure, this is the same head like from the Doctor Strange set, because I think it works very well, and plus I don't want to paint my own head anyway. And then I painted like this weird pattern she has in the back of her head. I think it kind of looks like this. I could be wrong. I don't see any reference pictures. This is based off of memory. I made this figure like weeks after I saw the movie. And this hood, it was the same hood method I used for like my Luke Skywalker figure from my Force Awakens, and this actually does fold up. And it doesn't fold all the way down, so you can like cover her face. You can't really do that in Lego anyway. But yeah, but here it is, and I just like how it looks. I'm not using Kate Mann's style because the way the Kate Mann's hood looks, it doesn't look like it sits well in my opinion. But what I did, when I cut the fabric, I glued the end of the hood on the side, so that way it looks like it's part of the robe. So you see what I mean, not like kind of looped down and all, because it just looks strange. And this whole torso is all like cut up fabric, and the fabric I use is like these old curtains I have. I don't know where I get them. You might get them at stores maybe. They're just really thin, and you have to paint it first before cutting it, so that way you don't get like threads sticking out and just peel off from the fabric, because that's not a good thing. Her sleeves, those are actually all fabric too. They're just like layers and layers of fabric. Like I did a base layer here, and I glued another layer on top, and I glued these pointy things on the top. So that's what I did for her fabric. And she has these like long rope things like on her side, and I made these as well. her belt's actually is actually electrical tape, and this little gem here that was actually sculpted. I just realized she had it when I was like watching the first fight scene with her and the zealots, and you can see there's like the gem thing does continue, and the E-tape does continue. But it does not continue on top of her torso because it kind of blocks her, because it'll block the armhole. So what I did, I ended up painting the black line instead. So you can see that black line does like continue around. So everything here is basically fabric, and these her fans. I don't want to go with Lego's fan. Lego's fan is a really cool piece. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't think it'll work well for this, for my Doctor Strange minifigures. For Doctor Strange, I did like the 3D pop-up thing. Well, I didn't do that for the ancient one because hers look more flat, more than 3D-ish. So what I did, I ended up cutting a clear rod and just cut a circle in half out of plastic, and I just painted that. And I had it pointing like this because the thing is, it's like her powers are pretty much like Doctor Strange, but it's just in half. So really, if the Doctor Strange is just holding it, his hand position like this, the powers will come off like that. That's what I did for the fans. But instead of using a stud like what I use for Doctor Strange, I use a clear rod, so that way you can maneuver it, you can move it around easily. And it's just the way she holds it, it's more accurate. It's actually a lot accurate like this, more so than a typical fan, which I have somewhere around here. There, oh, here it is. Like then just holding it like this. So yeah, that's pretty much the ancient one. I spent a lot of time on her. And moving on to her next minifigure. But here's one last 360 look. She's probably one of my favorite figures I made in the Doctor Strange lineup. Next we have Carl Mordo, not Baron Mordo. Apparently I believe he'll become Baron Mordo in the next film when he becomes a villain. So his character, he always seems like he has a stick up his ass. Like he's always strict and stuff. He doesn't want to change the rules, bend rules for the greater good. He's not that dude. He is such a square. Like my friends and I were talking about that. We agree that he is just such a square. Meanwhile, Doctor Strange and the Ancient One, they're willing to bend the rules for the greater good. This dude just like nah, forget this. And I won't call this a here's his staff thing. I'm gonna go over his staff first. Pretty much I painted this all the sides, and yeah, painting the cylinders, it really is pretty tough. There is one method to do it though. Like you can just get let's see, this cone piece. If you do that, just paint around, and it will probably block off the paint. Some of the paint will seep through inside the hole, but that's actually one method. Or you can just wrap tape around. You can do that too. That's how you can paint like round objects easily. Most people have his staff like those like typical like ordinary staff that you see from Ninjago. I didn't go with that because his staff is actually pretty short, so I went with this instead. And plus that way you can strap it on his back much easily. What is it called? The Staff of Living Tribunal, something like that. Yeah, and this is basically Lego's face. And the only thing I did really is just paint a little bit of scars, because I noticed he had scars. So I painted these scars in black so you can see him clearly. This whole fabric, like for his torso and his back, that was actually an old Cape Manus dark green trench coat I had. And I was originally going to use that dark green trench coat to make a Dr. Octopus figure from Spider-Man 2, but I never ended up making him. So I had that trench coat for like almost 2 years. So yeah, but then I eventually used it for Mordo, so that way I don't have to cut the piece of fabric I usually use and just have to paint it dark green. That would have been terrible. So I just used that old Cape Man's trench coat. And he has an E-tape belt with some fabric around it to give it a little more texture and pattern. These like loops are made out of thread. He also has like thread on his arm here, and E-tape around his arms, which like his bands, and there's like more threads on the end here, and there's a thread here, fabric. The strap is also fabric, and this, even the holder here for his I'm not gonna say vibrator. His flashlight is also wrapped in fabric here, this fabric loop. And I realize his arms have like 2 different colors, and why I don't know. I guess it kind of looks cool, I guess. And also he has these like threads on the bottom, and just like in the movie, what I did not use ordinary threads. it was actually part of the when you cut fabric, like an ordinary sheet of fabric, you will see random threads sticking out of it. What I did, I painted that and I glued it here. So this is actually still part of the fabric. That's just represented as threads. I'll take off his body so that way you guys can see it closely. So you can see these threads, they are actually from fabric. And I think it just looks really cool how it looks. So that's what I did. And everything else is pretty self-explanatory. I don't need to waste my time going over this figure. So yeah, this is I wouldn't say my best lineup of Doctor Strange because there isn't much detail you could really add on Mordo, but he's definitely pretty decent enough. Oh yeah, I forgot. His boots, what is it called? His vaulting boots, or I don't know. You guys might let me know in the comments. I realized he has strings on his boots, so that's why I glued them here. So yeah, strings on his boots. Yeah, that's it. Alright, moving on to our last figure. Here we have my man, Wong, and I really wanted to make Wong because he's a cool secondary character and he's pretty funny as well. So I'm gonna remove his fleshlight and his book out of the way and to go over his head. You know, I have to say this. I have to thank my friends for helping me make this Wong, because the thing is, I knew Wong is gonna be very difficult because mostly his face. I was trying to make sure, how am I going to make it look like the actor Benedict Wong? Funny, Wong plays Wong. Especially the credit for the face has to go to my good friend Ryan, aka KD Customs. He doesn't really post much because he rarely finishes figures. Finish your Glenn, dude. God damn it. He pretty much gave. I made like 4 different iterations of his face. I did not like any of them. I think I liked one, but then I didn't really like it later on. Then he drew an image like maybe it should look more like this. So I did that. So the credit for this face actually goes to him. He did it in amazing. I mean, the way he drew the face, it was so spot on. I feel, and I translate to translate that in Lego here. I did not want to paint his hair at first, because when I saw other people painting hairs for Wong, I just don't think it looks good at all. But I end up doing it anyway because of my friends saying, just do dark gray and you should shape it like this. So that's what I did. And these headphones, of course, I have to make his pink headphones when he's listening to Beyonce. So and these actually are sculpted by me. And what I did, I use the dark gray part of Procreate to make sure it sticks on, and unfortunately some of them are just stuck there. And I didn't make his MP3 player or anything, because I just feel like it's just making too much stuff here. So I'm gonna just remove this headphones out of the way, and to go over his torso. His torso is actually a dark red Cape Madness capes that I actually wanted to use it for Magneto for my Days of Future Past, but I never did it anyway, so I ended up cutting the cape to make his robe. And what I really love in this figure is his arms here. His arms are not like regular bands like what Doctor Strange has, what Mordo has, or even Caecilius. What it is, it's thread wrapped around, so you can see, so it pops out, and I glue them, make sure it stays in place like that. And this belt is actually made of E-tape and thread just running around. So this dude does use a lot of threads, and I actually like how he looks. And I don't know what his legs look like, so I just painted ordinary, shoes. So that's pretty much it. And then he has his and I also made the Book of Cagliostro because he is a librarian. And what I did, it's basically pretty much a Lego rod and an E-tape for the cover, and I used paper for the pages. Now what you can do, you can actually remove this, and so you can summon Dormammu, and if you want to bargain with him. So this is actually removable. The symbol in front is also sculpted, and the strap right here that binds it is made out of E-tape. Unfortunately, this E-tape, it doesn't stick very well. So, I mean, it looks cool when it's closed, but it keeps popping back up. So this is how it's supposed to look. So there we have his the Book of Cagliostro and his Black Panther looking staff thing. I forgot what this staff is. I know it's like a wand of something. Yeah, it's pretty much Loki's staff just cut up, and I didn't paint black on the other side. but it kind of reminds me of Black Panther. And that's, yeah, so that's pretty much it on Wong, and we can finally conclude this showcase, guys. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys liked this video. If you do, leave a like in the comment down below. Follow me on my other social media sites so you can see what I'm up to, what I'm going to work on, and that's pretty much it. So, Doctor Strange, still a good movie. I still enjoy it, and I believe I put it number 5 on my list on Instagram or something like that. So yeah, stay tuned for more future videos, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.